C'est toi qui... Yeah.
Good. OK, fait que j'ai tout fait ça dans le mic. Nice. Je parle fort et je ne suis pas ridicule.
好，大家最后再检查一下同传的设备。2频道是听英文，然后频道1是听中文。
No? Hello. Glad to see everyone here. I'm Geneviève Picard from Audio Kinetic. I'm the head of operations for the team. And really glad to see everyone join us for this Wwise Tour 2025. Head of operation, I joined, 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago in 2016. And what do I do there? Pretty much in charge of software development. So that's the developers, QA, even Guillaume is part of my team. So here today, I'd like to give you a sneak peek of the Wwise roadmap. We've been working for the past few years on the road to center-focused UI. And if you look at different examples of 3D tools that you might be using, such as Unity, Twanjie game engine, everything that you're working in is actually in the center. Even in DAWs, you have, like in Bitwig, all your information, critical information is in the center, and 3D authoring tools like Maya. So throughout the years with Wwise, we actually started with information that was distributed across the entire UI, but evolving towards our first phase in 22.1, we landed with object tabs. So the presence of object tabs was actually the first phase of our center-focused UI. Moving towards 23.1 and fast forward into 24.1, we now have the vertical property editor. I know it was a big change, but this is a necessary transition to be able to put all the important information in the middle of your screen. And we're still working on that vertical property editor. In 25.1, after the beta 3 actually, so in the version that's going to come out in November, the production-ready version, you're going to have your default favorites in the vertical property editor. And we also brought back the vertical volume slider. You will have the option to display it vertical or not. So object tabs, vertical property editor, and towards the center focus, we want you to be able to edit everything with the containers and your different tracks. What did we do additionally on that roadmap for center focus? In 25.1, we merged the hierarchies. So now there's a single concept of containers grouped together. And the media pool that actually Guillaume is going to showcase right after allows you to have access to all your sample libraries and source files directly within Wwise. Road to the future, we want to have that segment available for audio. So unify workflows for music, sound, and voice. But my most important message today is really, we're trying to shape the future of interactive audio together. And it's not only the Wwise development team, the Audio Kinetic team, it's also the community. And that's why we do events like this today, so that you can share how you're using the tool, and we want to hear about how you would like us to improve the tool for the future. So that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Geneviève. Or should I say captain? Yes, I'm sharing my main screen because of live demo. Because why just do a presentation when you can really risk it and do a live demonstration? So, let's start. Hello, and welcome, as Geneviève says, to the Wwise Tour 25. It's an honor to have been invited here today to talk about one of my favorite topics, Wwise. So let's talk about Wwise. But before we talk about Wwise, let me just talk a bit about me. My name is Guillaume Renaud. I'm a graduate in electrical engineering. I started working for Audiokinetic in 2014, and I spent 10 years working in the technical customer support team. And since last year, I'm now the field application lead for Audiokinetic. So credentials, I hope now you're confident I can talk about Wwise. But the most important thing you must remember about me is I like to work with people to improve technology. And we're doing a bit of that today. So moving on, I want to present three new features that we are introducing in Wwise 25.1, because time is short and that's all I can cover, but we have a lot of new features in 25.1. So the first one that mentioned by Geneviève not so long ago, oh, I can point. Right. So if you have used Wwise, anybody in the room has used Wwise? Show of hands? Okay, we got a few, good. So you are familiar with the very specific naming of things in Wwise, like actor mixer. That's something that doesn't exist anywhere else, and we're letting it go. So we have actor mixer hierarchy for all your sound effects and voices, and interactive music hierarchy. In Wwise 25.1, they're gone. Now we just have the containers hierarchy, merging the two together. There's no, it's a change, it's just a merge of the hierarchies. The same objects that you know and love from the previous actor mixer and interactive are all there, but it's now grouped in containers. Because we're abandoning our actor mixer appellation, we needed to rename the actor mixer container object, and from now on, it will be called a property container. Better reflecting what it does, it's a container for properties that all its children will inherit. I'm going to use this space. It's so big here and nice. Yeah, moving on. The master mixer hierarchy, where you know you will find your buses for mixing. Well, we went crazy and we're now calling it buses. So, and finally, when you create a Wwise project before 25.1, you will get by default always the master audio bus. But we've heard the feedback from our users, and there's this trend of getting rid of useless references to slavery like master. So in 25.1, you will get a main audio bus when you create a new project. And finally, like the last one on top, used to be called audio devices, but you know, it's Wwise. It's in the audio tab, so it's now devices. No more spaces or, yeah. So that's the merging of the hierarchies. The next one, one of the big new features in Wwise 25.1 is the media pool. So media pool, probably familiar if you've used a digital audio workstation. It's a common tool to search, organize, access your sound files on your PC. So yeah, we have a database and filters, a search bar and search results, metadata information for each files you select, a transport, and a preview region. I will have the pleasure to demonstrate that in a few minutes. And the third feature I want to talk about today is the improvements we have brought to the GameObject 3D viewer. I want to thank the Tencent team for their excellent presentation, and I believe they have become experts with the 3D viewer, making such a cool spatial audio-enabled game. So they will enjoy the improvements. The main change I want to highlight is the settings toolbar. So maybe you're used to clicking on this eye icon and you get a long list of parameters that you can use checkbox to toggle on and off. It's the same list of parameters, but now, oops, wrong button. But now they are grouped by category, and it's possible to pin the features to create these buttons, allowing you to quickly turn them on or off, depending on what you're working on. Another extremely neat addition is the object's property editor. Now, if you select emitters or paths in the 3D viewer, you get all the information related to it in the object properties. So I'm almost ready to do a live demonstration. No stress, it's going to be fine. Another question, if maybe you can raise your hand. Has anybody in the room had the chance to use Wwise 24.1? Oh, you are far away in the back. But there are a few. It's a good opportunity for me to show you very cool features that were in 24.1. In particular, I want to demonstrate live media transfer and expanded live editing. So typical workflow, you create your sounds in your DAW. They are rendered to a location that Wwise will be able to import. And then the next step is normally you have to generate your sound banks, place them somewhere where your game engine can load them, and then finally you can hear your sound in the game or engine. But since 24.1, thanks to Live Edit and Live Media Transfer, we can abort that sound bank generation and loading and all that, connecting Wwise to your editor or even a build of the game, that is profile or debug. Just with that, you can push changes of your Wwise project. Well, you could always change properties, but now you can send entirely new files and structures. You can add effects, and almost anything you can do in Wwise now can be done live while connected in the game, never having to switch back and regenerate sound banks, keeping you in your flow, focused on your creation. And yeah, that's enough intro. I want to show you all this in action. So yeah, I'm an old school guy. I'm a big fan of the classic theme of Wwise. Also, it shows up well on the screen. So, but before I jump in the demo, because so few people have seen the 24.1 new layout and property editor, so as Geneviève mentioned, like our road to center focus, instead of having your source file somewhere down there hidden, now it's there. You click on your sound, it's where it should be in the center. If I choose a blend container, well, bad example, this one doesn't have a blend track, but yeah, if I had a blend track, it would be right here. Switch containers, you can do your assignment right there. And yeah, blend tracks. So that's our move to center focus, and that's why we have moved the property editor here to the right. Yes, we know it's not everybody's favorite yet, but as we hear the feedback from the user community, we improve on it, something that was not really possible in the previous property editor. And yeah, it's so much more versatile because you can customize using favorites what you want to be displayed there. And as you navigate the project, your selections remain there. So allowing you to make it yours. So yeah, that's a quick show of the new property editor that was introduced in 24.1 and our nice center focus of Wwise. Well, merge hierarchies, as you can see, they are merged. Yay. Oh yeah, I didn't mention earlier. So you see I have a music migrated. If you migrate a project from a previous version, you had a separate interactive music hierarchy folder. You will just find it under the containers now. This project does not include music, so yeah, it's empty, but... and maybe I should talk a bit and start the project in question. So I'm gonna it's the Wwise Audio Lab. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's in our sample sections in the launcher. So it's a small Unreal map that we use a lot for development and testing of our spatial audio and Wwise acoustic tools. So because of Unreal, I'm just gonna start now while I go do something else. Media pool time. So I'm an old school guy, I said earlier, so I can use Control-P to just invoke it, and here is the new media pool view. By default, the project's originals is always one of the databases you have there, and then I also have my user database, user-defined, and I only use the three free Strata sample libraries for my demonstration. But it's possible to create new ones easily, and then you could map this to another folder in on your computer, right? It's also possible to create other virtual folders to organize your libraries better. Filter, I'll get back to it soon. We have the search bar here. And yeah, and right now I'm using selected fields. So by default, Media Pool allows you to search for your file names and metadata, like wave headers, file names, and a bunch of others that are found in WAV files. So for example, I can create a filter, and I can search for my files that contain the word ceramic, for example. And yay, I've got all the files in my databases that contain the keyword ceramic. Okay, so far nothing very special. What is special in the media pool is we have, in collaboration with the Sony AI research team, we have trained a model, an AI model, to help you search, so to introduce what we call similar sound search. So if I look at my Wwise installation, when you install, you have to select the similar sound search module, and that will enable the feature. So let's do it. So switching to audio description mode, I can now do things like search for, I want to find a sound that sounds like zap. I type zap, and I get a list of results. Okay, it's zappy. Right, I want to draw your attention to the score column here. So that's the search algorithm, similar sound search, letting us know how close to the keyword I entered, zap, it judges these sounds to be. So what's very neat about that, you probably don't have that problem, but sometimes maybe your sound files are not properly named, and maybe there's a convention, but you didn't have time, and anyway, with this tool, it's possible to search the characteristics of the sound without having to, even if they're not named as you would expect, as I did here. And yeah, and I could do also they combine, right? So if I re-enable my filter, so this is the intersection of ceramic and zap, and yeah, not much intersection. All right, so I'll just sorry about that. Right, so moving along and towards my live edit scenario. Yeah, Wwise Audio Lab clicking in the background, thank you. In the Wwise Audio Lab, you have a ball launcher that you can use, and it has a few sounds, and there's one in particular, this one. That is a dry sound for a ball launching. And now our mission is to make this sound more interesting, and yeah. And then I want to find something. Do we have filters? Yeah, I want to find like a file with many variations so I can have more than one sound for my new thing. I noticed this one here. If I select autoplay again on selection. Sorry, that's loud. So, right, a plate metal, not really what I'm looking for, but still, I'm gonna right-click on it and ask similar sound search to help me out and find sounds that are similar to this here. And as you can see, I have a nice list of results. The one I use as the search base scores 1, right? It's perfectly matched to itself. And then as we go down in the list, it's a bit less and less what we're looking for. Aha. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. A nice little laser sound to make my ball launcher sound like it's from outer space. Yeah, in the bottom section here, I can use the right-left arrows to move from one region to another. And yeah, and region detection is enabled here with this button. Like you could just use it without region detection, but yeah. Because I want to quickly create a container with these sounds, I'm going to enable it. And I'm just going to trim this one because it has a double burst in it, and I don't want it. And yeah, because it's a bit loud, you know what? Let's reduce the volume by 6 dBs. A bit better. All right. Did the game start now? Yes. Let's load the village map, which is our main, the main attraction of the Wwise Audio Lab, I would say. So yeah, I land in this soccer pitch, I would say. I'm surrounded by some water. And there in the distance, you see we have a village with many spatial audio volumes and portals. Also now reverb zones, a feature introduced in 24.1 that is very much appreciated. So my ball launcher is making my dry sound. But now I want to make it better. So back to Wwise. Well, I'm gonna, of course, use the power of Wwise, and the dry sound is already in a blend, so that's good. So I'm just gonna create a random container here. And yeah, because we have regions, I could just import the file by clicking the import file button, but yeah, I want to use the region, so I'm gonna use this one, and this gives us the new audio file importer. It looks the same as before, but before it was a model dialog that did not allow you to interact with anything else while it was open. But now it's a full view. I can dock it if I want. Anyway, neat improvement to the audio file importer. And yeah, so I want these sounds. It's telling me now I'm importing this file. It's going to create 6 variations of it. And where's my volume? Okay, whatever. So, right, and I want to put it in this container with the follow selection option enabled. I click on my laser random. Now it's the destination. Import, and there we go. Yeah, I didn't show random containers properly earlier. I think I forgot to toggle this button. Anyway, so yeah, I needed to toggle this to get my minus 6 dBs. So right, another neat feature of center focus, if I play a random container, I see which of the variations is there, and yeah, I get a nice preview of each of these waves files. So let's put this in the game. Let's not wait and use some live edit. All you have to do is connect to the instance of the game, and I'm not using Unreal right now, it's just a build. And making sure I select Profile in Edit to push my changes to the game. Profile only is only when you want to debug and not push. And let's go. My sound is in the game now. But I wanted to hear the other one. So I want to hear the other one first. And this sound is like just less than 100 milliseconds. So I'm just going to add an initial delay of 100 milliseconds to my random container. And while I'm at it, I'm going to do my minus 6 here. And that's it. I've added my delay. Now I'm hearing both the dry sound and the attack and my nice laser variation. I like to call it magic, personally. That's what it is. Okay, other tricks we can do with live edit. So I'm by the water here. I'm listening to the waves. Let's go open up this ambience here. So I solo it so we can focus on it. So yeah, you can do stuff like, let's trim it like crazy. Or not. And I'm a big fan of stupid things like a flanger effect on my ambience. Why not? Or I can bypass it. So yeah, there is a slight delay, but I mean, it's pretty neat. So there you go. So live edit in action, and sky is the limit of the stuff you can do with it. I'm just an engineer, right? I'm not a sound designer, so I will let you guys show me how cool it is. And yeah, and moving on to demonstrating how cool the new 3D viewer is. So I'm just like walking around here, like I noticed, oh, post, nice. So yeah, I noticed the ambience is kind of fading out as I move away, so yeah, I'm gonna stop this for now. But thanks a lot, Wwise Audio Lab. Yeah, because I was connected, of course, I have awesome profiling data of all this. And there you go. The game object 3D viewer in all its glory. No, but yes, it is overwhelming. Like, because the game object 3D viewer gives you everything. And of course now I also have everything enabled. But yeah, the point we want to make here, it's meant to be, you have to tweak your settings to focus on what you're trying to find out, let's say. For this example, I want to know which of the emitters, the radial emitters for the ocean ambience we were just tweaking, which ones are reaching me right now. All around here, you can see the yellow circles. So I think that's a 24.1 feature too. So we now have radial emitters. A radial emitter, if the listener is in the middle circle, it's 100% spread, no attenuation. As soon as you move to the outer, you start falling off. And yeah, the attenuation curve starts to kick in. Okay, as I said, this view is extremely busy, so let's start cleaning it up. Every game object, every emitter now has everything enabled, so it shows its name, the name of the room it's in, all the sounds that are playing on it, and its position. So I've cheated a bit. Well, I can show you the menus. So yeah, it's the same settings we used to have, but now they all have cool icons. Yeah, and with the pinning feature, that's how I can create the buttons you see here, the blue buttons. But yeah, I could just go and use the checkbox, but this is 25.1. Let's use the buttons. All right. First one, I don't need to know the position of every emitter right now. I don't want to see the voices right now, and I don't even want to see their names. Already, it's getting better. I'm starting to see now. More stuff, yeah, all the green text here, those are the portal info text, so also easily removed from view. Yeah, as portals are Wwise acoustics or spatial audio tools, I mentioned the reverb zone. So you see the big rectangle, the blue rectangle here, and there's another one here. Reverb zones are like spatial audio volumes, but the surfaces are all like wide portals. But yeah, because people started using spatial audio volumes and started putting portals that cover the entire area because it's a different type of problem. But yeah, if we have the perfect example in previous years, if you go see our streams, if you have a cabin in the woods that has a kind of patio. So you want a volume for the cabin, but for the patio, it's kind of a transition region between the room and the outdoors. Anyway, so reverb zones, they're great, but yeah, now I'm just gonna not show them anymore. Where are they? Reverb zone, transition region. Yeah, so the rectangle is the reverb zone, and the ones around it is the transition region where you're gonna crossfade from what's coming from reverb zone to the outside. So, bye-bye. More stuff around diffraction. So now I'm displaying diffraction edge receptors. Even though I'm an engineer, I'm not sure I could explain this, but yeah, it's like the vertical around my geometry. Switching back to top view, there's also just the contour of geometry, so edge receptors, also cleaning them up. And yeah, all the sounds have the white attenuation spheres everywhere. Why don't I remove that? And radial emitters, some of them are not even active right now. So there you go. And now I have the answer to my question. I'm currently listening to these 5 radial emitters. I can select them now and see what they are, and they have a direct path to my listener. These little blue plus signs, so that's where the radial emitter at this moment is emitting from. So it stays in the inner circle and finds the spot that is closest to the listener. So I have direct paths. Oh, I don't have diffraction here. What did I do wrong? Well, I can inspect my spatial audio volume objects that are also now emitting to my listener. Yeah, if I zoom in on the listener, these cones here are the spread cones for these reverb zones and rooms. Yeah, the game object axis, I know they show us where top and front vectors are, but I can remove them. Do I still have virtual voices lying around? Yes, the rooms were not audible, so why don't I remove them? There's also the grid in the background that I can remove. And now it's very clear. Okay, but let me see if I go back in time. There we go. Here I have a few diffraction paths. what are these? Let's click on it. It's a diffraction pad, and sorry, 1080p. So that's telling me it's a diffraction pad that the reverb zone, aka reverb zone 1, diffracted. So yeah, reverb zone diffracting is like a portal, so it's going to be displayed in green. And once we start diffracting around geometry, it's pink. But yeah, it's all diffraction pads. And yeah, and that's it. My main listener is right here. So yeah, that's the game object 3D viewer in action. Yeah, the yellow ones are reflection because we also use this map to test reflect. And that's it. That concludes my live demo. I survived. I'm happy. But I'm not done. So yeah, I mentioned magic when live edit, but I don't mean Harry Potter magic. I'm more of a Arthur C. Clarke type of magic. Yeah, because advanced technology can seem like it's magical. And that's what live edit is to me. In conclusion, I just showed you 3 new features of 25.1. But 25.1, especially for sound designers, is jam-packed with new features. And I know the Tencent team is going to love a lot of them. So I showed you the media pool, the merge hierarchies, the 3D viewer. But please go check out the new parametric EQ, which has the full graphs. Like I think we see them here on top. And now it goes up to 8 bands, not just 3 bands. But if you just want 3 bands, you can set it to 3. Anyway, awesome parametric EQ. The multi-band meter. Multi-band meter, you can have at least 3, maybe more, gain parameters driven at once. And it filters also. Instead of having a parametric EQ and then a meter, it's all built in the meter, meaning you could even put the meter on your main bus. No more useless auxiliary bus just to do the filtering for the gain parameter. And so much more. Sidechaining. Sidechaining is an hour-long presentation. I won't get into it. But there was a very cool live stream 2 weeks ago from David Crooks, one of our lead developers. So please go check out our, if possible, go check out our YouTube channel. There's a lot of videos, the live streams. Like yesterday, there was one about the new spatial audio tools. So yeah, the dual shell filter that is made specifically to make Wwise acoustic and spatial audio more realistic. Improvements to reflect, and so much more. So yeah, I encourage you to go check out Wwise. We're still at beta 3. The production-ready release of 25.1.3 will be in November, mid-November. Try it out and let us know what you think. Yeah, my call to action for you today is join the Wwise conversation. Well, discuss within yourself and talk to us. We want to hear how you like it and what went well and what we need to improve. Thank you very much.
Hi, Guillaume. Thank you for the talk. Yeah, and my quick question is about the DSF filter. And I was wondering if multiple DSF filters are being merged, how the engine keeps the sound stable. And I'm also curious what happens to the phase if, the portals and RTPCs change on the fly.
I'm not sure I'm qualified to answer that. And I'm trying to fight it.
Perhaps I can be more direct. I'm just
Yes.
curious about, like some corner cases. Are there possibilities that the DSF might introduce artifacts?
No, I don't think so. Well, the DSF is mostly in addition to, it's a lot like where you find LPF and HPF. That's what I was trying to find, maybe in attenuation. It's just, it's another type of filtering that I would need to study to answer more clearly. But yeah, because it has something special, which is an emphasis parameter to control how much gain and the slope and all that. But to your question, like, is there a chance of artifact or? I don't believe so. That's like our other filters. Like one of the main goals is we'd never want to, make the sound not sound good. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
No
That's
problem.
incredibly helpful.
大家中文、英文都可以提问，由同川老师帮大家翻译。
Sure. Well, I got a translator if you want to ask in Chinese.
Hello， 你好，这里。Here， 我想提一个新功能，就是在那个音频的 source 那个界面里面，可以剪辑或者插入一些静音的片段，就是在中间。就是有一些语音的话，我们可能有前后两半句，中间我们需要去实时对点游戏画面。就是这个功能是否可以实现？
Not, you can't with the source editor. Well, you can absolutely edit all your trims, but you can't insert a gap in the middle of a source. That would be, I guess, a sequence or some other means to create the matching. I'm guessing this animation, the timing is static, so it doesn't change dynamically, so you could configure it. There was another part of the question that I'm blanking on.
It's really to line up with the voice.
Yeah. Well, to line up to the animation, well, it's going to be very dependent on your engine and implementation. So, but there's, like everything in Wwise, there's probably at least 2 ways you can do it.
两种方式。他说你可以再重复一下吗？哦，我说的是就是有一些语音它中间会有一些空白嘛，然后我是希望去编辑中间的空白的一个长度去匹配游戏里面的画面，就可能会语音上面会有一些大量的一些需要去做这个工作，对，就是在中间的空白。
No, yeah, as I was saying, no, you can't use the source editing to. What you're asking is, I want to do a timeline, and on the timeline set SFX. Well, I can think of a few ways to do it. Maybe you could, I don't know, you could maybe use a music segment for that, because the music segment does have a timeline. And then the music segment could be also running a MIDI file. And there are many, but yeah, it's going to be, it's going to depend on what you're using as an environment, but not in the source editor. But there are ways around it.
因为我的目标是在可能大量的一些音效或者语音文件里面去做类似的操作，所以可能在音乐界面不太方便去做大批量的处理。然后我是希望这个作为一个新功能，能否加到Wwise 里面去
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we are definitely picking up on this need as a repetitive and batch operation.
No, and
Sounds like something we need to add to the backlog.
yeah, no, but well, it's kind of, yes, absolutely on the roadmap. We can say when exactly, but yes. Well, that was part of what Geneviève was showing. Like the future is some multi-track with a timeline, maybe. Yes. that's what we're working on. But yeah, it's
好
not
好
in
谢谢
25.
谢谢。
你好，其实就是对于一个长线的项目来说，我们的 Wwise 版本几乎是立项的时候就固定了。那么考虑到稳定性，我们想在项目后期更换版本是一个很困难的事儿。那么对于咱们比如说刚才那个 Media Pool 这种方便我们前期工作的工具，它看起来它并不会对我们后期的输出有影响。那么能不能考虑把这些以单个插件的形式输出出来，让我们老版本的 Wwise 也能无痛使用？谢谢。
I don't know. It's a good question. Well, I know that the new view is based, like at every major release, it's been many, many, many years, this adventure of improving the foundations of Wwise. So a lot of changes have been happening behind the scenes that you don't see to make our code more adaptable. And yeah, so, and I kind of forgot the question.
So the question was, can you actually
Right, the media pool, right.
as a plugin in a previous version of Wwise?
So
This is already developed.
the media pool being a new view in Wwise, it's built on every improvements we've made to the framework of the code in Wwise. Maybe, but it's I would say we have to move forward. But I like the question because yeah, the question of difficulty of upgrading, stability of the project. Well, we could see Tencent shipped on UE4, 27, and 22.1. So it takes time, and the development also is so long. But let's say you started a project today, and you ask me what should I do? Well, if you're shipping in a year, I would say maybe not 25 yet, depending on the scale and your appetite for risk, but 24 now. And as we release new minor releases, which is just bug fixes, no new features, no change to APIs, or no change to soundbank format. So we always recommend to use the latest minor version of the major you're on. So for 24, keeping up to date. If you're using 24.1.8 today, 1.9 is coming out next Tuesday. So you should upgrade. It's always safe. It's always more stable than the previous minor because we fix more bugs.
Hello. Good presentation. I'm here. So this might be more of a request than but I will phrase it as a question. I'm an old guy as well, or I'm at least shaky. So I use the keyboard arrows to basically move around in the profile, or Project Explorer, I meant.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do that in the new property editor as well?
Can you?
Since they look kind of similar, it would be nice to be able to do it.
To tab navigate here.
Yeah, or at least in the lists.
Apparently we can.
Nice.
Between fields, of course. I don't think I can change like categories, but yeah, if you enable them all, why not?
Sweet.
Yeah, well, and something you could never do with the old one.
Thank you.
您好，我刚才听到您的报告，对你的那个 AI 的搜索功能非常的感兴趣。然后我想问一下，就是你们是出于什么样的原因去加入到这个功能？然后以及你们未来对 AI 这方面有没有推出一些新的功能的一些计划？谢谢。
Okay. No, we integrated Sony AI's work in Wwise, not the other way around. It's not them. But yes, and so the question, is there more plans for AI features in future Wwise? You will not be surprised to hear the answer is yes. Because who doesn't think about how to use AI moving forward? But we're moving ahead with some ideas, but we're also moving carefully. We're we are always, our first goal is to give you the best tool to do that you already depend on. So we're not going to break Wwise just to insert a new cool AI feature. With this said, there was a mention in the previous question, I have these repetitive tasks I have to do, and it's cumbersome. So that's one of the things we're particularly trying to see how it can help. So stuff that is not you being creative with Wwise, but just doing something over and over again. So that's something we would focus on first.
And to pick up on the first part of the question, why did we decide to add the media pool feature? Well, asset management is definitely something that is a recurring theme. People have other tools outside of Wwise to manage their assets. And we thought, for a long time, we had it on the roadmap to say, well, how do we make it better? How do we integrate that into Wwise so that you can have everything at hand? This collaboration with Sony AI only made it better. Because when you search for stuff, if you have that naming convention, perfect. If everyone respects it, perfect. But sometimes you're going to look for something that is going to sound similar, but is not going to be called the same thing. And again, the use of AI, the way we want to do it, is really in a way that can just help people find stuff in a more easy fashion. Or, yeah, that's it. Just improve how you improve your workflows. So we're not here to dictate how you work, but we're just trying to give you the tool. And what's great about today is that we see all the crazy things you manage to do with what we build.
So yeah, and you didn't hear us say the words generative AI. So that's not something we think should be a priority right now for us. Yeah, more a tool to help you with the boring part of your work, not the fun part.
Did that answer your question?
Hi. I have a simple question for you. So actually, we've been using Wwise 2024 for a while, and we're not very used to the user interface for the property editor, and everything else is just great. So is there any chance or ways for us to switch back, or at least have a choice between the new one and the previous one, the old one?
Yes. It's called a user setting, I believe. Is it? No, it's a project.
It's only in 24.1 that you can switch.
Is it?
Right?
No, I think we still have it. Of course, I'm not finding it, but yes, we have somewhere. Or maybe Geneviève is right. Like, she's usually better than me at these things.
In 24.1, we
Right.
kept the option to
But yeah.
roll back to the old vertical property editor, but as we made further improvements in 25.1, and as the underlying tech was getting like significantly different, we could not have that rollback option in 25.1.
Yeah, because it's part of, as I was saying, a better framework code underneath. But where is it? It's in 24, I know. It's just, of course, I can't find it right now.
Yeah, thank you. That's great.
There were some questions more in the front. Yes.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Yeah, my question is pretty simple. Could we directly drag the files in the media pool into, for example,
Absolutely.
other DAWs, for example, Reaper?
Oh, to your DAW.
Yeah, because personally, I prefer to design the sample before I finally design to put it in the Wwise.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and the media pool, personally, I think it's much more powerful than the Media Explorer in the Reaper, and somehow it's so powerful. So is it possible, or in the future, maybe we could design our sample in Wwise directly? Is it on the roadmap?
So you're saying you would like to use similar sound search and the cool features of Media Pool to get your files into your DAW?
Yeah, and design the sample.
It's the other way around. It's from Reaper to Wise, not from Wise to Reaper. And assuming, what's your DAW?
Yeah, Reaper or.
So Reaper, I would say there's hope
I see.
because of its extendability and scriptability. We don't have. I would have to check, but no, we don't have it right now.
I see.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I should try it. But that's a good question. I'll look it up.
It would be so cool
to be able to drag from media pool to, as I say, maybe it's possible with Reaper. I don't know with the other guys, but.
Yeah, I see. Thank you for your
But
answer.
I'll look it up. Good question. We have more.
I think we should have the last question. Yeah, time is limited. 再给别人次机会。
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for your patience.
Oh, hello. I have a question about the about the sample viewer, because before when I was at AK, I heard that we will have a sample editor in Wise or authoring. Do we still have the plan?
A sample editor.
Yeah, something like you have a sample and you can render into original files. I'm not sure. Do we still want to do something similar? Because like our user asked if we
Did you say a sampler?
No.
I'm not sure what you mean by sample, Chenlong.
It's sorry. It's like in the center there is an editor, so we have multi tracks like the music.
Music segment.
So we can edit the sound inside the Wise.
Oh, right. Like maybe automations of volumes and properties, or.
Yeah.
Well, that's something that is in music segment.
Okay. Oh,
I believe.
Yes, thank you. And
it does sound like a good idea we should probably be working on right now. Yes.
Okay.
Probably yes.
Thank you. Another question is, I think a lot of people ask for a long time is the VST plugin support.
Yeah.
Do we have the plan?
Well, I think I saw some VST versions of our plugins for DAWs.
Yeah.
That would also be very smart.
Yeah.
But of course, that would require auto-render feature in Wise. Because we can't ship VSTs at runtime.
Yes, just for reviewing.
That's a good idea. But
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of pretty much the roadmap. So we need some way to auto-render them to allow to have VSTs in Wise.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you.
It's high on the list.
Thank you.
So I can't promise when, but yes.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
谢谢大家的问题，然后也谢谢 Gil 和 Jen。那非常感谢大家提出那么多问题，我们也看到有很多朋友还想问到很多问题。那我们可以在茶歇的时候，或者说通过我们的小红书公众号各种后台私信，或者说通过我们 Open Ear 的邮箱，或者说通过我们的网站去提交任何的问题。然后那我们就再次感谢Gil 和 Jen。好，然后我们现在进入就是茶歇环节。这个茶歇之后呢，我们也是15分钟。到时候大家请准时提前的回到现场。对，